What does freedom mean to you? How do you define your life, and is it truly yours to define? Let's take a moment to ponder this. Freedom is a subjective term, and it varies from person to person. To some, it's the ability to express oneself without restrictions, while to others, it could be the pursuit of happiness, or even the luxury of making their own choices. But the real question is, have you ever taken the time to define your own language of freedom? Imagine living in the midst of a civil war, where the basic rights of life are constantly threatened. Our author, Wur Deng Lueth, grew up during the Sudanese Civil War, and his experiences have shaped his understanding of freedom. A concept he views not as a given, but as a language that one must define for themselves. Life, according to our author, is an unstructured test that we take every day. There are no right or wrong answers, only lessons to be learned. This test is not about pass or fail, it's about growth, understanding, and the determination to keep moving forward. So how do we navigate through this unstructured test? Well, we live, we learn, and we experience. We cross the road of life, looking at both sides for our safety, and in the process, we become aware of our surroundings, our strengths, and our weaknesses. But living isn't just about self-preservation, it's about coexistence. It's about respecting others for our well-being, understanding their points of view, and realizing that they too have needs just like us. And as we journey through life, we must constantly seek wisdom not just from our friends and loved ones, but even from our enemies. We must seek education not for monetary gains, but for our usefulness in society. We should strive to correct our past mistakes, not to erase them, but to discover new opportunities. Remember, life is an unstructured test that we take every day. Whether you pass or fail, you should learn from it. So define your own language of freedom and live life by your own definition. It's your life after all. In life, we live, we learn, and we experience. But how do we ensure we're learning the right lessons? Ponder on this for a moment. What if the secret to this lies in our innate curiosity and our relentless pursuit of wisdom? Let's take a leaf out of the author's book, quite literally. Wur Deng Lueth, in his captivating personal storybook, The Future Ahead, offers us a profound perspective on this. His experiences in the Sudanese Civil War have taught him that curiosity and wisdom-seeking are not mere hobbies but survival tools. Curiosity was the compass that guided him through the darkest of times, and wisdom, the beacon that illuminated his path. You see, curiosity is the desire to ask questions, to seek answers, to explore the unknown. It is the driving force behind innovation and progress, but curiosity alone isn't enough. It must be coupled with the pursuit of wisdom. Wisdom is the ability to discern what's truly important, to make decisions that are not just right for the moment, but also for the future. It's about understanding the world and our place in it. Now let's talk about education. Often, we see education as a means to an end, a ticket to a good job, a higher income, a secure future. But the author challenges this notion. He urges us to seek education, not for the sake of being paid, but for our usefulness in society. This radically different perspective on education is not just refreshing, it's empowering. It urges us to learn, not just to earn, but to contribute, to make a difference. The author's life story is a testament to the power of curiosity, wisdom, and education. His experiences remind us that these are not mere abstract concepts but practical tools that can guide us through life's most challenging moments. So, let's take this lesson to heart. Let's be curious. Let's seek wisdom. Let's pursue education, not for the sake of being paid, but for our usefulness in society. After all, isn't that what truly matters? Seek education not because of being paid, but for your usefulness in society. How do we navigate our relationships with others? How do we balance our needs with the needs of others? These are questions we often ask ourselves, and the answers aren't always straightforward. But through the lens of Wur Deng Lueth's remarkable story, we can find some insight. In the midst of the Sudanese Civil War, respect for others wasn't just a nicety, it was a matter of survival. Understanding this, Wur Deng Lueth learned to see beyond his own needs, to acknowledge the needs of others, even in the direst of circumstances. This practice of respect, of putting oneself in another's shoes, is a cornerstone of peace, both within and without. But respect goes hand in hand with understanding. We must strive to comprehend others' perspectives, not just acknowledge them. This is a lifelong journey, a constant process of learning and unlearning. But it's a journey well worth undertaking. For in the words of Wur Deng Lueth, live life and seek to understand others' point of view. And where does love fit into this picture? Love, in its purest form, is a profound understanding and respect for another being. It's recognizing their needs, acknowledging their perspective, and caring for them despite, or perhaps because of, their flaws. In the chaos of the Sudanese Civil War, Wur Deng Lueth discovered that seeking love in the right places means finding love in every interaction, every moment of connection, every shared experience. Yet it's crucial to remember that understanding and respect for others doesn't mean neglecting our own needs. It's about balance, about recognizing that we are all interconnected, all part of the same tapestry of existence. As Wur Deng Lueth puts it, live life but knowing others have needs as you do. In the end, it's about finding your own language of freedom, your own way of navigating the complexities of life. It's about learning, growing, and constantly striving for a better understanding of the world around you. But most of all, it's about respect, understanding, and love. What can our past mistakes teach us? How can we use them to discover new opportunities? These are intriguing questions that invite us to delve into the realm of wisdom and correction. The author, Wur Deng Lueth, navigated through the harsh realities of the Sudanese Civil War, and he learned that each misstep, each stumble, was a stepping stone on the path to wisdom. Past mistakes, he came to understand, are not anchors that hold us back, but rather, they are teachers, showing us the way forward. Every mistake is an opportunity for growth, a chance to learn, to improve, and to become better versions of ourselves. It's a chance to redefine our narrative, to restructure our life's test, and to discover new opportunities. It's not about perfection, but about progress, about learning to transform the stumbling blocks into stepping stones. And where do we find wisdom? We find it in the most unlikely places. We find it in our enemies. Yes, you heard it right, our enemies. They challenge us, they push us to our limits, they show us our weaknesses, and in doing so, they give us the chance to grow stronger, to become better. They force us to face the realities of life, to confront our fears, and to stand up for our beliefs. But remember, seeking wisdom from our enemies does not mean embracing their ideologies or accepting their wrongdoings. It means learning from their actions, understanding their perspectives, and using this knowledge to enhance our own life and the lives of those around us. In the grand scheme of life, we are all born, we all have parents, and we all make mistakes. It's not about the mistakes we make, but how we correct them, how we learn from them, and how we use them to discover new opportunities. So let's redefine our language of freedom. Let's learn from our past mistakes and seek wisdom even from our enemies. Let's live life meaningfully and contribute to society. Because remember, correct your past mistakes to discover new opportunities. What does it mean to live meaningfully? How do we contribute to society? These are pertinent questions that we all grapple with. To live meaningfully is to embrace the reality that life is not forever. It's about understanding and accepting the transient nature of our existence. It's the realization that all we have is now, this very moment, and it is our responsibility to make the most of it. Our author, Wur Deng Lueth, discovered this truth amidst the harsh realities of the Sudanese Civil War. But rather than succumbing to despair, he chose to learn, to grow, and to contribute. He chose to live his life meaningfully, to learn from his past mistakes, and to seize new opportunities that came his way. Living meaningfully is not just about personal growth though, it's also about contributing to society. It's about being of use to the world, not just taking from it. It's about understanding that others have needs just like we do and doing our part to meet those needs. Our author's experiences underline this fact. He sought education, not for monetary gain, but to be of use to his society. He sought understanding, not just of his own point of view, but of others as well. He sought wisdom, even from his enemies, understanding that everyone, no matter their circumstances, has something to teach us. But how do we contribute to society? How do we make our mark on the world? It's not about grand gestures or monumental achievements. It's about the small acts of kindness, the moments of understanding, the willingness to learn and to teach. It's about respect for others and for the world we live in. So what's the takeaway from our author's story? It's this: make your life meaningful, learn from your past, seize the opportunities of the present, and contribute to the future. Remember, life is not forever. All we have is now. So live in this moment, live with purpose, and contribute to society as much as you can. Live meaningfully because life is not forever. Contribute to society as much as you can.